senang ketemu dengan Anda hari ini.
Thank you, Jose. Good to meet you today.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Oke.
I guess from family background, my father is a structural engineer, my mother a geologist, my grandfather from father's side, he used to work in the city hall in Porto in Portugal. I guess was always interested in drawing, in buildings, in architecture, in articulating volumes, playing with them. There's two cousins of mine that went to architecture as well that might have influenced. So that was always in my environment, somehow becoming an architect. Yeah, that was it. Yeah, I think it's a very diverse profession, having to deal with different programs, different briefs, different cultures, different sites, analyzing different contexts, and then together with a team of very diverse people in terms of backgrounds as well, find different solutions, different approaches to design to resolve somehow the architecture for that place. I think it's an exciting profession, independent from the size of the project or the how iconic it can be or not. It's always exciting to resolve, to understand, to address clients' expectations, and also the visions of the architect, of course. So yes, very exciting. Not too sure that it's completely away from others, but the methodology, I guess, it's very clear. We believe in diversity in our team. We believe in working as a studio with inputs from different designers, from different backgrounds, different, understanding locality, understanding the place of the project, understanding the brief and expectations of the client, and working collaboratively, not only internally as a team, but also collaboratively with the client. So we are designing for a purpose, for a brief, for a client, and for a location, with our principles. So I guess these are in a nutshell the principles of our methodology, and we try to do the best we can. I mean, to provide new experiences, things that are not repetitive or not banal. We try to bring something new to each one of the projects. Each project is a different project, and so I'm not too sure it's absolutely different from other practices, but these are the principles we follow very religiously, let's say. Yes, and fundamentally we work for a brief. We work for a client ultimately. So it's not like designing a piece of art. It's addressing a certain requirement, a certain vision, a certain budget, and that's very important. And because it's not an academic exercise. It's a real life exercise, and we do like to build our design. So they need to be feasible, to address expectations from the clients, and yeah, it's a concrete work that needs to satisfy several principles, including, of course, the client. I think that there are principles that we should not compromise, and that's why clients come to us. There's something we can add to their vision that they can't. So so some principles we should not compromise. We should not compromise being contemporary. We should not compromise functionality, safety, and things like that. But ultimately, we need to address a brief, a budget, and so forth. So we do need to interact and respect and address a client's brief. Yeah, that's, okay, I think that we architects are definitely influencers of you know, taste, sustainability, of course, in one hand. Our process in the firm, but I mean, technically it should be the approach of all the architects as part of our diligence. We should be sustainable. We should address you know, the way that the buildings are more or less exposed to sun, how we can take advantage of renewable energies, how we can reduce wastage, how we can reduce the carbon footprint for the construction, but also for the operation of the building, and so forth. That's definitely, we are influencers. Clients and operators and governments have an important role on that as well, and not always we feel we are in the same line of thought. So that's sometimes is a challenge, but we do play a great role in terms of responsibility. Now, I do think that today we should be thinking beyond sustainability. We got to a point of damaging biodiversity, nature, environment, that talking about sustainability or net carbon zero is not enough anymore. We need to go beyond. We need to talk about regenerative architecture, where you give something back. You give something back to the communities, you give something back to nature, you give something back to biodiversity, you try to restore ecosystems, you try to repair damage that was done before. That's something that we need to, more than ever, to start putting as a threshold rather than sustainability only. I think it's somehow the consciousness of having to be sustainable or even regenerative. It's something that is more and more accepted or embedded in the thoughts of people. We are now in a better situation, I guess, than 10 or 15 years ago. I think that developers in general and operators should enforce more, should insist more in regenerative architecture, in sustainable architecture. And that's not an advice, specifically to Singapore, to Indonesia. It's I would say to the whole Southeast Asia. We do need to do more as architects, as communities. as governments, etc., operators, owners, developers, and so forth. We do need to try to do more than what is potentially the minimum imposed by governments. Right, we need to go beyond, and that's something that requires some thought through. I guess in terms of trends, I see, for example, and today and yesterday in the conference here about hospitality conference, the discussion is a lot about what hospitality is today, or what are the trends, what is the expectation of a luxury development, for example. Maybe today is not anymore that opulent feeling as you get into the lobbies, as you get into the rooms, but in opposition to that, today is more about a cultural specific experience, a local specific experience, something that is not replicable anywhere else because it would not make sense. So it's very intrinsic to the place, to the culture, to the local culture. And again, it's the better the experience is when everything is really embedded, even the operations is embedded in the concept of being local specific and cultural specific. So I can see that trend. So that careful about that care about local also brings care about the culture, about the environment, about the surroundings of the project. So that's a step forward, I guess, in the consciousness of requiring to be sustainable or more. Particularly in our practice, specifically from the studio in Singapore, we have about 1/3 of our architects are Indonesians. There's a tremendous, let's say, there's a lot of talent in Indonesia, a lot of creativity. I believe that the training of architects here is very competent. So we have from young architects, we can see that they are technically good planners from young ages. So I think that the Indonesian architect is talented, is capable, is competent in general. So I can only see in a country that is developing, a country where the mid class is growing significantly year by year. I can only see that the work for architects, for local architects, will be increasing as well. So the place of Indonesian architect, I think it's relatively safe. There will be work, there will be space for showing the talent of Indonesia and Indonesian architecture. Difficult to put like a rule for all designs. There are different conditions, contexts, urban, non-urban, etc. Definitely, I would say tropical modern, something that needs to be, always in the thought of sustainable approach to design in Indonesia. So it's a climate sensitive architecture, potentially local materials, exploring natural ventilation, use of renewable energies, try to impact as little as possible the environment, especially if we are intervening in places of natural beauty or value. And so, in a nutshell, I think that those would be the principles, not having to address specifically if the project is in urban or seafront or the mountains or somewhere remote in a different condition. Okay, my experience in Indonesia spans now from maybe about 15 years. I did several commercial buildings, commercial developments, office towers, mixed-use developments, retail, resorts, hotels. I think that if I could have a wish list of a brief for my next project in Indonesia would be a resort in a paradise-looking place, which you have a lot, and designed with the integration of culture, modernism again, and sustainability. I would like as well to potentially explore these same concepts in a urban development, potentially a tower or so that could be maybe a benchmark, a new benchmark for commercial design in Indonesia. I would suggest that I would like to have our architecture as seen as timeless, modern, a reference of international standard applied to local Indonesia relevant environment, conscious of global sustainable challenges we have within us. And so in a summary, a good benchmark for this stage or for this era that we are right now. Something that could or not necessarily stand out as an icon, can be or not, but fundamentally to be something that would be a reference of comfort, consciousness of environment and sustainability and so forth, and would enhance lives of Indonesians. I don't in the architectural practice I don't have really like an individual aim for my own selfish achievement. I believe that again our practice, our profession is made out of designing and building buildings, environments, experiences, and I wish to have all our contributions materialized in buildings that can really enhance lives of people in Indonesia and elsewhere, of course, and enhance the communities' quality of life. And so it's very generic. I don't see like individual, achievements as really some strong objective of my personal practice. That's how I see being an architect. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, we work in teams, and I don't know a better satisfaction than seeing a building perform or provide memories and happy moments to the users, and that's really fulfilling as an architect. So I think that's really the main objective, a bit more holistic and not trying to bring any individual recognition more than what individual projects brought to communities. That's the major satisfaction of our practice.
Oke, terima kasih Jos
Terima
atas
kasih.
waktu.